Okay, so today I'm titling this video The Two Sides of Channel 1 because you'll see on the TV side them doing a good job actually covering the news, but it seems that their technical department for the website apparently they don't want to put videos up, which I am a Spectrum customer. I want to see videos. Okay, how is this acceptable? Oh, we have to rewind on the live? No. It's not how it should work, alright? So, it seems their website seems to be the problem. It's like, how come Channel 12 at least does 30-second videos? It doesn't have to be Long Island. It doesn't have to be anywhere else. Just in general. Why do they do that? It's like Spectrum doesn't want us seeing news videos or something. I don't know. I really don't know. So we're going to get into the crime as usual. And here's the example of what I'm talking about. So this is what's on their thing today. I mean, this is just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. I don't even want to watch it in the papers today. I don't even want to watch that. No. Alright, and if I wanted to at least watch Capitol tonight, I at least want to know what's going on with the state budget. That's the bottom line. So the good news is, I will mention if we can find it in the Courier, but if not, we'll take a look and see if we can find a news article somewhere, because I do want you to watch the footage of the suspect that is accused of attacking the sick man in Queens, obviously. Ozone Park, to be specific. So this is what I'm talking about. No video. Why isn't there a video? Alright, they should have had the, Live at 10 video. And I'm still wondering, where's Lewis Dodley? I mean, why are they putting somebody else at the 10 o'clock news? I don't get it. But okay, we're not even going to read from Channel 1. I'm just disturbed. I don't even want to read from them. It's just ridiculous. Okay. Taking a deep breath here so that way we can get some composure. Decorum here. Now, I'm sure you have heard about this in the past 48 hours. But if you haven't, and maybe your social media feed hasn't been showing you this, or maybe you're not seeing it on your phones because we're too addicted to watching TikTok videos or Instagram stories. Apparently, this might have missed you. A 61-year-old woman, minding her own business, shot and killed in the Fordham section of the Bronx. Now again, Channel 1 does a very good job with their report. I watched the live news on, I believe this was, Monday night. And they did a good job. But no, you don't want to put it on our website. No, we're Channel 1. We don't want to do that. So there we go. A 61-year-old woman. And for the record, I will mention my mother is actually 61. Was killed Monday night after getting caught in the crossfire of what police think that might have been a dispute between men over 3 Monte on a Bronx street. So let me zoom this in so you can read this at least, because if you're on a phone, it's probably difficult to follow up. The woman, identified by police as Juana Esperanza Soriano de Perdomo, was walking along a deli on East 188th Street between Crescent Avenue and the Grand Concourse when she was struck in the back by a stray bullet just after 7 p.m. So, just very, very devastating. I mean, the community's been rallying, and Channel 1 even showed that, which is very, very important to do, of course. But you don't see a video on their website? No. So, for an example, let's take a look and see if we have a video from News 12 The Bronx. So we're going to do that right now. So here we go. It says here 4 shell casings were recovered. I just wanted to look at that. No suspect description. So, by the way, today I will mention that there was a thing here. So we're just going to go to the home page. Let's see if we can find it. Let's see. I think it's probably buried somewhere. Probably. Just want to see. No, not anywhere near here. I mean, News 12 The Bronx is so disorganized. It's just ridiculous. Let's go to their news section and see if we can find it. Let's see. No, that's not local news. Who cares about Alex Jones? I mean, give me a break. Oh, at least they talk about the Wall Street case, but still, I mean, what is going on here? What is going on with Channel 12 The Bronx? It's like, give me a break. Taking a look. Just for fun. We're going to keep browsing to see the... It's just ridiculous. Just ridiculous. What this website has become. Here we go. So we do have a video. How long's the video? Good job. 1 minute and 43 seconds.
Deli when she was caught in the crossfire. Officers are still looking for the suspects this afternoon. The manager of that deli speaking to our Carolyn Blackburn.
Police say that woman was shopping here in Fordham when she was struck by a stray bullet outside this deli here on East 188th Street. The manager here sharing a surveillance photo with us showing the moments just before the shots started ringing out. This surveillance picture shows 61-year-old Juana Esperanza Soriana Di Perdomo walking by Masa Fordham Deli around 7 o'clock last night, shopping bags in hand. Seconds later, she tried to run for her life after gunfire erupted. Police say 2 groups of men started firing after they got into an argument. We're told Di Perdomo was struck by a stray bullet in the back. She was rushed to St. Barnabas Hospital where she later died. The manager of the deli had to clean the sidewalk here after this deadly shooting.
So again, you get the idea. You get the point that Channel 12 The Bronx does a whole 1 minute and 42 seconds. Channel 1, no video. Interesting. Interesting. So let's get to the other news. Multiple pedestrians injured as car jumps the curb and crashes into a Crown Heights building. Here we go. This morning, police responded to an accident scene, 7:55 at St. John's Place in Nostrand Avenue, according to spokesperson Chris Pisano. Emergency responders rushed the 5 people to Kings County Hospital, 4 of whom had serious but non-life-threatening injuries. 1 person had minor injuries. So, good news is, there was an arrest, but wondering what happened. Probably failure to yield. That's what I think probably happened. At least this wasn't a hit and run. That's the good news, please. I mean, after what I saw last week, that was the last thing I needed to hear about. Look at this. Curb jumping drivers have already killed 6 people. So, look at this. The mother who was struck in Harlem died from her injuries. Look at that. You really got to be careful. I mean, maybe it's because a lot more people are anxious to drive, given that, you know, we're coming out of all these lockdowns now, and people do want to get out again, but still, I mean, it's just getting crazy. Okay. So we do have this. I mean, look what's going on in the Bronx. So Channel 12 The Bronx did cover this. I'd rather would read about this. This is the important thing here. Smash and grabs. Alright, this should be brought up a lot more. $50,000 worth of merchandise stolen in the Soundview section of the Bronx. So here we go. Police sources tell the Bronx Times at about 3:45 p.m. on Sunday, April 3rd, 5 men, all established between 20 to 30 years of age, used a hammer to break into the commercial storefront in front of M&N Gold Jewelry at 1527 Westchester Avenue. They stole various pieces of jewelry. The 5 men then took off in a black car and fled from the scene. Police sources said in an effort to identify the suspect, police can check social media to see if any of the suspects posted expensive jewelry online. So, it is possible. I mean, these criminals can be dumb. In most cases. Okay, so now what I want to do is find the Queens Courier. Let's take a look at the Queens Courier and pull up if we have this. Oh, look at this! A major quality of life story in Fresh Meadows. And it looks like they're talking about the Rikers Island inmates at the Wyndham Garden again. Oh, believe me, we're going to read that. Right, this is my neighborhood, crying out loud. So here we go. This is what I'm looking for, right here. And let's see if there's anything about the bank robbery in Bayside. No, there's not. Alright, so they did make an arrest in the assault, what happened in Corona. I'm going to organize these. Okay, here we go. So what I want to do is look up Bayside bank robbery. I mean, there's nothing about it other from Laura Uhl. Okay, good. We do have something from the patch. Let's read this. This is very important. Right, there was a bank robbery. Where was the media? There was no one to be found about this. Unbelievable. Okay, here we go. This is what we have right here. And what's so disturbing to me about this is literally right around the corner from my barber. On Bell Boulevard, for crying out loud. Here we go. A serial bank robber stole money from a bank in Northeast Queens yesterday, marking his second heist in the past several days. At about 3:15 p.m. on Tuesday, April 5th, the man walked into an Oakland Garden Chase Bank at 73rd Avenue near Bill Boulevard and passed the teller a note demanding money, according to the 111 precinct. The teller complied, and the as-yet unidentified robber, a 30-something-year-old man who was described as 5 feet 10 inches tall, ran off with about $1,000 in U.S. currency. The heist mirrors a Friday bank robbery in Forest Hills, which police said was pulled off in the same person. So look at that. We actually read something about that last week in the Queens Courier. The man entered a Chase Bank on Queens Boulevard and passed a note demanding money to the teller, at which point she handed over an undisclosed amount of cash out of fear for her own safety. The man ran away with the cash, and in the case in both incidents, no one was hurt. Police included a photo of the man, but as of April 5th, no arrests have been made and the investigation remains open. So, I will mention Laura Uhl was the first to break this because I was literally about to go onto Facebook and find her page, but alright, so this is who they are looking for. And thank goodness the bank had cameras, because if the bank didn't have cameras, this would be harder to find the suspect. Believe me. I mean, that's what's going on here. That is what's going on here. Okay, so let's get to the sick man. They finally have a suspect description, so I figured Crime Stoppers would have something by now. So let's get you a suspect description in the sick man that was assaulted. So we did talk about this. Happened on Sunday morning, April 3rd. Let's just give a quick recap. Nirmal Singh was walking to morning temple services because remember, it is Ramadan. So that's the important thing to note here. This is Lefferts Boulevard and 95th Avenue. The assailant snuck off from behind and allegedly sucker punched him in the face in the unprovoked attack before running off in an unknown direction, police said. Following the attack, Singh was found roaming around the Guarda with blood on his face and jacket. So, here's what we know right now. Suspect is described as an adult male with a dark complexion and an average build. He was last seen wearing black sneakers, jeans, and a blue hooded sweatshirt. So, I mean, they got a pretty good idea of what he looks like. Okay, then I want to read this. Teen scooter driver critically injured after hitting an MTA bus in a Queens crash. So here we go. Seneca Avenue, and I think I saw this from Twitter if I'm correct. The 15-year-old boy was driving a Badonio scooter heading west on Seneca Avenue in Ridgewood when he was struck by a people mover heading south on Gates Avenue at 1:11 p.m. on April 6th. Oh, that's a fail. Today's April 6th. Yesterday was April 5th. Okay, so here we go. Bus driver remained on scene. Police did not make any arrests. So that's the good news. Just taking a look at what else we got here on AM New York very quickly. Oh, and then look at this. Literal stab in the back. I mean, they always say that about, you know, what's the term they use all the time? Stab in the back, double cross someone. That's the term. Oh, and then look at this. They have a surveillance photo of a suspect about what happened at Wall Street. Now, let me take a look at the Wall Street one. I hope this is not the 2-3 train. It better not be. Oh, okay, good. It was not the 2-3 train. Oh boy, imagine if it happened there. Reported to police at 6:05 a.m. on April. Okay, seriously, this AM New York really needs to get their act together. April 5th, 43-year-old man was on board a northbound Ford train at the Wall Street station when an unknown man got into an argument with him over seating. Suspect pulled out a box cutter and proceeded to slash the victim in the face and neck. Suspect fled the subway station topside, ran southbound on Broadway, and jumped the turnstile at the South Ferry Whitehall Street station along the R&W train. Oh man, you cannot make this stuff up. You cannot make this stuff up. And I literally was almost going to be at that station yesterday. Okay, so here we go. Looks like the suspect is also wanted for fare evasion. So they could easily get him. They could easily put a misdemeanor on that. That's an easy misdemeanor right there. All right, here we go. Cops seek man who stabbed a woman in the back. So, I mean, you can literally not make this stuff up. You literally cannot make this stuff up. Literal stab in the back. Literal stab in the back. So here we go. Knife-wielding suspect who stabbed an innocent 70-year-old woman for no apparent reason. This incident happened last Wednesday on March 3rd in the vicinity of 8th Avenue and 53rd Street at 1:05 p.m. when she was approached by a man from behind. The man pulled out a sharp object believed to be a knife and stabbed the victim in the back in an unprovoked attack. Suspect then fled the scene on foot with no words exchanged between the suspect and victim. The victim was taken to NYU Langone Hospital in stable condition. So, we do have surveillance video from nearby. They're looking for a man possibly 20 to 30 years old. So here we go. And from what that image looks like, he could be Asian. They got a pretty good idea of who he is. I mean, that's just disturbing. 8th Avenue and 53rd Street. I want to look this up. Let's see where this is. I'm going to Google it. Oh, come on. There we go. Now it should budge. Search Google. Let's see where this is. I think I know where this is. Brooklyn. Here we go. Yeah, not Midtown. No, I'm looking for Brooklyn. Now, if I am correct, and again, if I were to give you my Brooklyn geography, I believe this is right by Sunset Park. Yes! Obviously, it only adds up. If you add 2, 2, and 4, obviously you could tell by what the man looks like. He's definitely Asian. See? Even have a good image of him. Right here. Definitely tell he looks Asian. Oh, and then this happened. $200,000 gunpoint robbery. What? This has to be Park Slope. East 21st and Church. Please tell me. I don't think where that is. Please do not, because if it is, then East 21st and just checking right here. Let's see. Just zooming out. Oh boy. Oh boy. It's right on top of Lefferts Garden. And literally not that far away is Park Slope. Wow. So no surprise that the crime is starting to come near their whereabouts. This is what they get for trying to live the good life over there. Because again, in order to avoid these problems, you gotta go to Park Slope. You gotta go to Park Slope. That's how it works these days. I don't want to live in Park Slope. Here we go. But now, with this happening, I think Park Slope is starting to see the problems come to them, most likely. Here we go. 2 victims, a 41-year-old man and a 32-year-old man, were inside of an apartment. So it says here, the 2 suspects held the victims at gunpoint and ordered them to open an unlocked safe to contain money. So it says here, $200,000 in stolen currency. The victims did not require medical attention. So there you go. I mean, this is what's going on here. Look at this. I have 2 more to read before we get into what's going on in Fresh Meadows. So it's going to require some patience here. Police searching for a suspect who allegedly slugged a 13-year-old with brass knuckles on an L train. So it says here that Halsey Street Station. It says here that this happened on March 16th. 13-year-old boy was assaulted. I mean, my goodness. Even our children aren't safe these days. Suspect then exited the train and re-entered the same train a few cars down before taking off in an unknown direction. 13-year-old refused medical attention. So, that's a brave 13-year-old kid, I'll say that. Medium complexion, and is 36, 6 feet 2 inches tall, thin build. So, black beige sweatshirt, blue jeans, and white and orange sneakers. So, you got a good idea of what this guy looks like. And Mind you, this is what the new president of NYCT Transit's going to have to deal with. I mean, he has to deal with this next issue, and believe me, he's gonna hear from me in May when he takes over. And then lastly, the Corona assault that we brought up, there has been an arrest. So that is some good news. Police from the 115th Precinct arrested 39-year-old Philette Clark of Humphrey Street and charged her with the robbery that occurred just before 11 a.m. last Monday, March 28th. 79-year-old victim was standing inside of the restaurant at 37-19 Junction Boulevard when Clark allegedly approached and asked if he could spare any change for her. So, here we go. Good news is, in this situation, this is now going to be an arraignment in Queens Criminal Court. So it sounds like Melinda Katz is going to get this case, hopefully. Let's hope she does. But in the meantime, Clark fled with $80 in cash. So, again, I wonder what Melinda Katz is going to do in this situation. I mean, for a petite robbery here, but knowing her, she may get involved. There's a decent chance. Now, the grand finale. Let's talk about what's going on in Fresh Meadows. Where do we even begin? Well, for starters, there was a hit and run that I witnessed last Friday, April 1st. Not going to say where I witnessed it, but long story short, the police did come. There was glass on the road, and, that happened. And all I'm going to say, a Honda and an Infiniti got involved. Now, to the other news in Fresh Meadows. Breaking into homes. One woman was sexually abused. First reported by Laura Uhl. So it seems that whatever Laura Uhl is keeping an eye on, the Queens Courier or the Patch is likely going to end up picking it up sooner rather than later. So here we go. According to the 107 Precinct, the 49-year-old victim was napping in her home near 188th Street and 64th Avenue around 4 p.m. last Tuesday, March 29th. She was awoken by a man standing over her bed while holding her cell phone. The woman jumped out of bed and chased the suspect out of her apartment. Now, this is disturbing right here. The person who broke into the apartment turned toward the victim and threw her against the wall while pinning her hands behind her. He then sexually abused her before running off on foot in an unknown direction. Around a half hour later, at 185th Street and 186th Place in Fresh Meadows, the same man entered the rear of the location through an unlocked back fence gate and removed power tools and a Razor scooter in the shed worth about $370. So here we go. Crime Stoppers has released a video. He was last seen wearing a black and red windbreaker over a black hoodie, light-colored sweatpants, and dark sneakers. So, you know who you can blame this problem on, and that is the old mayor, Bill de Blasio. And this is where we're going to transition to our last story today. Now, let's give a quick recap. If you don't remember what happened this time 2 years ago, then Mayor Bill de Blasio put Rikers Island inmates at the 3-star Wyndham Garden Hotel on Horace Harding Expressway and 186th Street. Lawmakers in Queens are calling on New York City to terminate the housing contract with Rikers Island detainees. So here we go. Let's read this. 100 released detainees from Rikers Island have been at the Wyndham Garden Hotel since 2020. Last week, New York Congresswoman Grace Meng, New York State Senator Toby Ann Stravinsky, New York State Assemblywoman Nili Rozic, and Councilwoman Linda Lee sent a letter to New York City Mayor Eric Adams and to New York City Comptroller Brad Lander demanding the contract be terminated and the hotel return to its original use. So again, we know what happened here. I gave a quick recap. And honestly, this man probably was released from Rikers and dumped in the hotel. I mean, it only makes sense. So, of course, the Mayor's Office of Criminal Justice, aka de Blasio's handprints, was working with the Office of Emergency Management to provide secure and stable housing to those leaving the jail system without a place to stay during the worst of the COVID-19 pandemic. A nonprofit organization called Exodus Transitional Community is under a New York City contract to provide wraparound services, including case management, job placement, meals, and assistance finding permanent housing. So here we go. Assemblywoman Rosick said, the arraignment and the city's lack of oversight have been too disorderly for far too long. So, here we go. Here we go. Nilly Rosick admitted what the problem is. We just read about the sexual assault. Look at that. Look at that. I mean, if that doesn't tell you what's going on here, I don't know what would happen. A participant of the program alleges he was sexually assaulted by an Exodus employee, as well as finding the program was operating with an unlicensed security vendor operating illegally. So, this was taken to criminal charges referred to the New York State Attorney General Tish James and Queens District Attorney Melinda Katz. Okay. In response, Eric Adams ordered a review of all pandemic emergency contracts, and last week, Brad Lander rejected the $40 million renewal of the contract, asking the mayor's office to resubmit a new contract. So, it's just ridiculous. I mean, these Riker Island inmates do not belong in Fresh Meadows. This is an upper middle class area. What business do they have belonging here? I mean, my goodness. It's just unbelievable. And remember, you know why Linda Lee's getting involved? Because this is technically her congressional, well, not her, but her city council district. Look at this. Look at this. The problem is these Democrats want Eric Adams to get involved. The problem is, if Curtis Sliwa was the mayor, the contract would have probably got voided in January. And this, see this? This would have never happened. So, it's time to end the video by calling out the mayor. It is that time to do it again. Why aren't I surprised? Well, 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 Eric Adams. It seems the blood is on your hands again, and you basically don't care about Fresh Meadows. Alright, we've asked you to visit our community during the primary last year. We asked you during the general election. You never came to Fresh Meadows. Curtis Sliwa never came to Fresh Meadows. So we're basically Forgotten Meadows. And this guy just doesn't care. Alright, he's laughing at us as usual. He's just laughing. Laughing. Eric Adams, you really are a shame. And you are a hypocrite because you said you were going to bring back Stop and Frisk, and now you're not even going to bring that back. So, this is who's screwing New York City right now. It's this guy right here, Eric Adams. So that's it. Thank you for watching.